How to get a business loan up to 2 million incredibly fast without collateral and even having bad or good credit. Hi, welcome into this live. Michael here from Viral Funding Solutions. I will get started shortly, but if you are tuning in right now, I'll give it a second, but give me a hashtag live and or give me a hashtag replay so I know the time interval you've come in. It's been a very productive week so far, and going into Friday tomorrow and in the weekend, looking forward to it. Looks like I'll do a little bit of work. Hopefully you guys are doing well and things are going amazing in your business. And I'm going to cover in this video exactly what I said in the beginning. How do you get a business loan up to 2 million incredibly fast with bad or even good credit? And so there are many misconceptions to this, and I'm going to clear it up. Even so, I'm going to get into the share screen soon. But what I do want you to know is there are levels to this. Just because I say you can get up to 2 million with a specific service, that doesn't mean that's all you can get. It can mean you can get 50 million if we're looking at real estate financing. That's another side of the story. Perhaps it could be up to 5 million, 10 million. Maybe just up to 250,000, 150,000. So it all depends on the service you're going to, but there are levels to this, as I just said, in categories that I will quickly run through, but I've made another video I'll try to link to down below in the description. But you have to understand what lenders look at. How do I know? Because I have great relationships with not only them, but the underwriters, and I see what's happening on a daily basis. As of today, I've had so many people who've been denied, who signed their application, dated it, everything needed for us to fulfill on getting you an offer if possible, but people have been declined. Why is that the truth? Because you just don't have the right funding criteria. You probably stated something you're doing in revenue that doesn't match up with your bank statements. If you had to provide taxes, year-to-date financials, profit and loss, balance sheet, etc., a recent credit report. But primarily, if we look at that entrance point of those bank statements, you're saying you're doing 20,000, but then it says you had a whole month of 10,000 here, then a 15,000, then you had 1 month of 20,000, but then you say you're averaging between 20 to 49,000. So let's back up here. What is the whole story? I bring this up because so many people today have asked me those questions and have been submitting a questionnaire form, which, by the way, if you have not submitted one, what this is, it's basically a simple questionnaire with funding details you can fill out and submit. It lands into my inbox. I will then analyze, evaluate, and give you a proper response that's more personalized and customized. A lot of people do this. This is the fastest way to get a hold of me. If I have some information that I can go off of and give you a legitimate answer of your best funding option and options, very thoroughly broken down, giving you some play-by-play scenarios to put you in the ballpark and giving you a conclusion, would that really help you? Instead of trying to go trip up, being hassled and harassed by all these other online marketplaces or people just calling you out of the blue every single day, you wouldn't want that, right? And I know what it feels like to go through all of that, and you're just struggling because I don't know where to turn to. I have people calling me, or I've been over here and they didn't accept me, or I went to this place and they did accept me, but they didn't give me the right offer that I deservedly need. I have questions. Do you have answers? Is what you're asking me. And so that's what I'm here to clear up. So again, I'm going to get into the short screen in a moment, but going back into the category of levels, to get up to 2 million, you have to differentiate where you fall in that scenario. Now, again, I won't know without knowing some basic funding details. That's why that questionnaire form is down below. So make sure before you have anything you want to run by me that you fill out that questionnaire, because it'll be confidential between you and I. It's not an application. Again, I will give you a proper response on what you can or may not qualify for, and then I can show you once you're ready to go and apply, then here's what you need to do, and here's what I recommend you do. Here are the levels to this, and this is why you didn't get approved for the amount you were asking for. It's not realistic, but we can get you this, or it's not realistic to get you that, and we can't get you anything at this moment because you're not doing the minimum amount, which should be at least 5,000 plus per month in revenue within each of the last 3 months, and on average 5,000 and above. And there are categories, as I said to this, if you want to get up to 2 million, you want to get close to that, you should be doing at least 15,000 plus per month in monthly revenue within each of the last 3 months, averaging over 15,000 per month. And I give you those questions that I asked for in the questionnaire. That's why it's very clear to me, and I'm not wasting your time and my time, right? Because our energy and time. I had a great conversation with an individual earlier, which I won't say their name if you're watching this later on, for real estate financing, a real estate investor. Did not waste any time, saved the energy he needed as well as I did. He knew where I was coming from. We kept it very short, sweet, and to the point how it needed to be. I even mentioned that sometimes I can be a little vague on these phone calls because I can't give you every bit of detail because you might be writing it down. You may be typing it as I'm saying it, or you might be trying to remember it. If I gave you a little bit, sometimes I can go a little bit further, but it's better to put it in an email format for you, which I will do for this individual and a lot more. So if you need help with that, please refer to that. And for all SBA content as well, if you want to learn more about that, grants, startup options available, I will touch on that a little bit lightly here. But again, the categories, 15,000 and above within each of the last 3 months. And on average, you're doing that and more, then we can get you between 75% to 200% of your monthly gross sales, your monthly sales, right? That's what you are looking at in terms of that category. So if you're doing some quick numbers where I can do them for you, you can also be evaluated on what you're doing in yearly annual sales, your annual gross sales. So if you're doing, I'm not going to throw out a number, but you can get between, because I didn't write it all down, I can do it in my mind, but to move fast through this, you can get between 10 to 15% of your annual gross sales. So if you wanted 500,000, you'd have to be doing at least $1 million and above, right? So that kind of gives you the scenario of what you're looking at. And that's not the full picture because, again, I said even that 75% to 200% can fall between that range. So to get to $1 million, you want to at least be doing 5 million plus, 3 million, 5 million plus. You want to consider that to even get even in that range, or even if you're within the million, we can try to get you between 75% to 200%, depending again on the service that you're going to qualify for. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we go deeper in this, like 10 million to 1 million, 20 million to 2 million, how much you can qualify for off that 10 to 15. Sometimes it can fluctuate 10 to 20%. That's why I went a little bit different in that evaluation. But for the most part, 10 to 15%. Probably was 10 to 20%, 10 to 15%. So you have to take that into consideration. And I bring this up because a lot of people are like, well, I want 2 million. They probably heard me say that somewhere, but their revenue is stating that they had a 15,000 per month in the lowest month in the last 3 months, and that they're averaging between 15 to 20,000. Great. We can try to fit you into the service to get you 75% to 200%. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll get you close enough to that 200%. What it depends on are things like your revenue, your credit score. Stronger revenue can sometimes push you closer to that 200% if it makes sense, as opposed to having an adequate credit score. Don't get me wrong, you want to have at least a good credit score to qualify you for the most amount. So when people come to me and they say, well, you said I can get up to 2 million, or you said I can get 2 million. I didn't say you can get 2 million. I said you can get up to 2 million. And sometimes I leave in these emails, I say you can get up to 2 million, but you have to also consider what we have to look at. So there are, again, categories to this. At least you have a basic understanding now of how to get a business loan for 2 million. You have to at least be within, you can get between 10 to 15%, the most part of your annual gross sales to be able to qualify for that. So now let me do a few other scenarios here that I'm going to put right into my calculator, not the 2 million, just a few other things. So let's do a minimum of that amount. So if we did 20 million, you can do 25 million. Let's do this. See, at the minimum of you doing 20 million, you can get 2 million. See that? And then I just punched in some other numbers earlier just to see the 25 and then the 30. But that's what I want to be clear about is at the minimum of 10%, of 20 million, you can qualify for 2 million. So that is in a traditional sense of an unsecured, sometimes a secured, I don't know cases, but even a bank term loan situation. But like I said, even if with a specific service, I'll show you how you can get 2 million, you can get 75% of that. If you're doing 1 million, you can get 75% of that, up to 2 million, which is 200% of that. So I don't want to confuse you too much with all these numbers. I'm just typing them in for my own fun. I know you're like, fun numbers. This is stuff that I deal with on a daily basis, everyone. Just moments ago, I was dealing, and I'll get onto the share screen in a moment, but if you're just tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from in the comment section. How is your day going? Are you appreciative of what you have every single day? That's what's most important for me to want to know about you. And so just earlier, I spoke with an individual, and this will tie in to what I'm about to say. I just spoke to an individual on email. They're looking to purchase an existing business. They gave me additional notes to what they were looking for. I presented them two options. They can purchase an existing business for what they qualified through a traditional revenue-based loan or a merchant cash advance and a merchant cash advance. And because sometimes they intertwine, it's a little bit of a difference somewhere. But they also had the personal loan option where they had a high enough FICO. They were above 700 and they revealed that to me. I won't say it here. And they can get monthly terms with the personal loan. But the question is, have you built at least 5 trade lines? A lot of people have not. Let's be honest. So don't waste your time applying if that's not you. And there are other requirements and qualifications you have to go through. And so what I said is, hey, I believe the best thing you can do to purchase this business for the amount of funding you were asking for, an SBA loan doesn't even make sense. The minimum, you're not going to get that. And so what you're looking for perhaps would be a better monthly / even weekly type of repayment. And I just wrote down some numbers for them, the true cost of that capital, if it is a fixed rate, what's being deducted off of their credit card and even debit card sales, what's happening there, what are the percentages. Happy to hear it, Natalie. And so I went ahead and presented them in an email, and what are they going to do? The ball is in their court. Go and apply, get started. I'm following up with you in that process. You get funding, amazing. Today, like I said, people who have been applying thinking that they can get 2 million, they are nowhere in the ballpark. And I have to be the person who is not in, and I'm not in a bad way telling you this. Don't think when I'm typing it or I'm saying it to you that I'm like, no, you cannot get 2 million. What I'm saying is you cannot get 2 million. We have to shift our expectations. It's really impossible to get you that. And I say really because it's like not just impossible, it's really impossible if it wasn't enough already. And so why is it impossible? I'll give you a reason why. And if you don't like that, hey, that's your own behavior. Don't bring that onto me. I don't want negativity. Just don't bring it to me. And so I'm trying to help give you the most amount of value. So if you wanted the 2 million, there are levels to this again. And yes, we can bring you in with bad credit at a 500. Are you doing a million plus? Are you doing closer to 2 million? Then perhaps we can try to get you between 75% to 200% of that. And that bad credit score, maybe it's a 500 or 550 some cases, not in all. Perhaps you are doing a 600 and above. 700 and above is ideal to get you the lowest rates, lowest interest rates, and so forth. But a lot of people today who have gotten funding already for, great stuff. If you're one of them, amazing. But if you've been declined today, I'll try to reach out to you and ask you a few questions. And be honest with me, please do not go around the block, because I've had an individual, and I've had recent ones actually this week and last week, who I asked them something and they give me a cookie cutter answer, and I don't waste time on that. I go away. I don't follow up a lot of the time. So if you want to be honest with me, sure. If you want to be unresponsive about it, that's another thing. But at least give me some kind of feedback and just some honesty. Like, I know you're not going to tell me, well, oh, my bank statements were not deceptive. I didn't do any kind of fraudulent activity. Yet our lenders and our underwriters, multiple of them said, well, especially the lenders, they looked at it and said, nope, this is a faulty bank statement. We can't prove you for that. If you have, like today, I've had people who got declined because they didn't have enough revenue in January, right? The last 3 months, if I'm looking for a specific service. And so they were hoping to get qualified. But what can we do when you have a low month in January that won't qualify you for, what you're asking for, any funding at all in a lot of cases. So now let me get into the share screen. And one thing I want to know before I do this, if you're not watching these videos and you're asking me questions and questions over and over, you want to get on an appointment where you can always go and ask if it's SBA related or if it's something else, and you're not asking your loan officer, you're not even emailing, you're not even taking the time to contact someone and at least give it a day to two where they have those specific answers. Or if it's something that I said already in that email, but you didn't even read it, you're asking me a question. This is all about energy and time efficiency. You're a business owner. You should know this out of everybody. I'm not any different. I don't work for a multi-million-dollar company where I'm like one of the callers or one of the people I telemarket others. This is not what this is. I run my own business and my own businesses just like you do. So don't think when you're getting in touch with me, it's just this traditional receptionist or a person who does telemarketing. I don't do that. I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm not like them. And I will give it to you straight. Today, where did the people go who set an appointment with me and I went to go? I had multiple, and then those who joined at the right time. But for those of you who set up an appointment, can't even click a link or can't even be responsive and tell me that, hey, I don't have a profile here. Can we do this instead as an alternative? Where did you go? Where were you when you said you were going to email me back based upon that email that I sent you with all the information on your best funding options? To me, that's a lack of effort. Two, that's not being punctual, especially punctual because it shows you don't care about somebody else's time. You're on your own time. And it's not an excuse. You're a business owner. I'm busy. Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I have multiple things I got to do. I have all these spreadsheets. La. No. And this is not for me being rude to you. This is probably your wake-up call if this is you. Because I don't do this to people. Even if you're thinking it, even if it hasn't been said, why don't you ever follow through? That's what you need to understand as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, etc. Do apologize if it is a little dark here. Let me turn on this light because the windows are open. Except that it is dark here in Vancouver, Washington. If you guys have ever come to Washington or live here or live close by, you guys would know that it can be, yesterday was sunny. It can be raining one day. The next day it can be sunny, especially during the spring season. But just to push further, and then I'll get into the share screen here, you guys have to be punctual. Like, get to understand that my time and my energy will be allocated, and I'm foregoing things as an opportunity cost. I have sunken costs, just like you do. Again, I'm not that receptionist guy or that lady that you can just call at any second of the day, and I will just pick up a call or even a text, not immediately. I have multiple businesses I run, so you have to be resourceful. And I will get to you when I can, but if you're not being resourceful, don't try to waste my own time and my own energy on something that could have been answered very simply, or because you didn't even read that email. So once more, I am not working for this multi-million-dollar company where I go into an office or even from home. I run my own businesses. I have a schedule. Look, calendar. And that calendar isn't even filled. I'm going to have to write a few things that I'll be doing this afternoon to readjust for my time. But again, whether you're getting a business loan, you're building business credit, fixing it, maybe you're doing some other form of a business like affiliate marketing, some other passive income, which I also do. Those are my other businesses. You have to be punctual. You have to be on time. I had to learn this the hard way. You just don't learn it in a day. If you have employees, you have to show up when they need you most. When you set a time, you're 5 minutes late, you're on my time, I'm out. If I'm the employee, I'm serious. I'm like, I could lose my job, but if it's 5 minutes overdue, where have you been? It's not a reasonable excuse. Bye. I don't have to be there because you're saying your time is more important than mine. So it's not to be rude. And this is what I tell my younger brother. I'm 29 at the moment. He's 23. It's just for me to tell you that I value my energy. I value my time. So if you're going to tell me like a lot of people have, not only this month, but last month and the months before, and it will continue to happen in the future, where they go, I need funding. Just send me that email, and I'm looking to get funding here soon. I'll reply back to it. Yeah, 3 weeks later, and I barely even followed up with you enough. Why? Because you're wasting my time. You're wasting your own time. And you're just scouring and you're looking for all this information because maybe what I said to you in that email didn't resonate with you. So you're like, oh, he's telling me I can only qualify for 20,000 when I wanted 50,000. Well, you didn't read the whole email, did you? And try to go apply to places and go through brokerages and lenders. You're going to get just around the same evaluation. If not, you're going to get worse. I've had people come to me telling me these are outrageous APRs. These are outrageous rates I'm getting. And then I do all the numbers and calculations. I even will look at their bank statements. I can't look at everything until it goes through the underwriting process. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry, Sally. Like, hey, you decided to go your own way. You didn't consult with me. You did not reply back to that email, which, by the way, if you're watching, I appreciate your guys' time. I will get into the share screen. I promise you guys. It's hard sometimes because I want to express. I'm not an extroverted person, so it doesn't always come naturally to me, but I want you guys to get this into your noggin, your head, because a lot of you guys are not. To be honest with you, a lot of you guys are not. And this, again, isn't me being rude. This is your wake-up call. And so for those of you who submitted a questionnaire just the last day or even today, I've sent you that email follow-up. Well, no, there's always the famous, I did not get it. Well, did you look in your spam box? No, you did not. Did you? It's even worse when I've sent you a text message and it's your mobile phone number, which I've spoken to people recently. And I just say, I get it. It's fine. And in the back of my mind, I know it's like, you didn't care. Or you just have too many things going on. That's why. And you're making an excuse of it. And so let's just move on from that without even saying it. And let's just continue on with what is on at hand right now, because I need to focus my energy and time on you and helping you do this. So there's no excuse out there. I've heard it all. I've heard all the BS that people give me. Even with the underwriters, they say, well, I recently had some people earlier, to be honest with you. This is a good example, prime example, that they say they're doing 25K plus per month. And guess what happens? One, they're not. And then two, they're resubmitting an application where they said they were doing 11. Once they said they were doing 25, and then another one comes through that says 11, and then once that says 15. Which one is it? You said in that questionnaire form you weren't even doing 25. You said you were doing 10K, but you're coming over here because you think you can qualify. You think that because you put more revenue, you will qualify. This is your wake-up call. And just to go one step further, and then I will promise you, this is a very valuable piece of information here for you. You need to really open up these and listen. If you're not, if you are, I appreciate you. And if you don't qualify for funding at this moment, I know I'm not speaking up on startup, maybe personal loan options, what is available. I'll leave some of that down below in the description. I promise you that. But your wake-up call right now is to really get in tune with who is trying to help. I'm not pressuring you. I'm not saying you need to come in here and accept this loan or the world will be over for you. No. Look, I just can flip open a tab very quickly right now. I'm in my Gmail. You cannot see this. This is confidential stuff. But I can see all of your guys' emails coming through. And those of you who are serious and those of you who are not. And those of you who are not serious, I don't waste any energy or my time. Just as simple, it's easy as that. And again, if I sent you an email responding back to that questionnaire form you filled out with your details, and I haven't sent you a text, I have a full list of you guys right now that I put on my calendar and on my sheet. So I literally am looking at it right here. Look, right there. And there's a lot more I have to fill up. But if you can see right there, I follow through with what I say I will do. The reason why I did not send you guys a follow-up text message last night, because and this is how dedicated I am to you guys. If you guys are not dedicated to me, go away. But if you are, and you've been around for some time and you know the amount of value, you've not only gotten funding through me, but you're still trying to go through and get these types of things that you need to get there, I appreciate you and I'm very grateful and humbled. But for those of you who do not understand that last night, I put in about 2 hours of work from 7 Yeah, about 7 to 9. I said 8 would be the maximum, but I took an extra hours of completing these questionnaires for what? A lot of you guys not to even look through them. So this again is your wake up call. If you're not understanding anything, if you're not even giving me any kind of feedback, I have people right now who have an offer presented to them. You know who are the ones, and I want to say this because this is pertaining to how to get up to 2 million with bad credit, even no collateral. Yeah, I don't get to go through a traditional bank and offer some hard real estate, some inventory, some equipment financing, accounts receivables, etc. So I get a personal guarantee. So be it. I don't provide any collateral. And there are things about that. I don't want to get into details why you might not want a personal guarantee. But the other thing is the people who I see commonly get upset because they don't get possibly the offer, they don't get the better rates, and they don't get the best terms. Guess who those people are? If you said the ones with bad credit, you are correct. And even worse is if their revenue is not even high enough to overcompensate for that lack of credit. Now all, yeah, double H, hockey sticks there. HE double hockey sticks there. Breaks loose. I have people right now who have poor credit, who have offers on the table, and they don't give me any feedback. They don't at least check in and say, hey, I got your offer. I'm just reviewing this. Great. Cool. Maybe I'll just email you back and say, is there something you're concerned about this offer you were given? What were your expectations? And then I can clarify. But if you never even do that, you know what you're doing. I know the psychology because I've done this. I've gotten offers before, and you know what I'm doing. I'm sure you've done this. You go searching around other marketplaces, these lenders, and you probably write them down here and there. And maybe you don't want funding right this second, so that's the reason why you haven't accepted it. And there's a lot of reasons. Somebody passing away, you're just not safe about it. A lot of the times it's because you didn't get the rates in the terms. Somebody didn't set your expectations right. I'm setting them right. And if you're not tuning in to watching this, which you are if you are here watching this, what is there to question? Everything you need is broken down in those emails. Some people, and I'll show you the application process here in a second for the up to 2 million. So I greatly appreciate your guys' time. If you guys are just coming in and just seeing, oh, this guy's just talking about, and if it's not related to you getting a business loan, this is going to serve you a lot because I've been in your position. If you're here from other businesses that I've been a part of and I still work with, like affiliate marketing, other digital marketing businesses like a digital marketing agency, which I do all of that on top of this. I want you guys to know that I still do this stuff. And that also has to take some part of my day, not 100%, but I spend a lot of time helping you guys understand how to get business funding, not only because I've gone it through myself for my own businesses, but because I know this business very well as an expert. But if you're doing this and you're complaining and you're like, well, I didn't come back to me. I have somebody right now, I'm not even going to call them. I won't even say their names. I've tried contacting them yesterday. I didn't want to have to call you by phone if you're watching, let alone it be your business phone number. Hi, this is Michael. I am a loan broker. I'm calling for Trend. Oh, no, but you can leave them a message. Now I got to do that. Like, you really want to put me in that situation? Like, you guys got to think about this. Stop just, I look after what you guys want 100% of the time over what I'm looking at myself. I really don't put myself first. I put you guys before I do. This isn't me ranting, by the way. This is you getting a wake-up call. And if you didn't come here to hear this, hey, this is what you should be listening to. So really understand that what you are getting presented with once you get to that offer, it is righteous at least 95% of that time. If I don't have feedback of what you've been presented, if I did not see the offer beforehand, sometimes I ask, sometimes I don't because I know it. If I don't have any feedback from you whatsoever, and I have to say this like slowly sometimes because you guys, I don't know, A lot of you guys comprehend it, but you need to hear it over and over. Like, is this even true? Is this guy even telling me what's right? What, am I trying to scam you? No, I'm trying to be honest with you. And if you cannot even be punctual, that goes back to this. So don't say something that, hey, I have people who are like, in 2 weeks, I'll need funding. You can reach out to me. And I reach out to them. Oh, no, I need another 2 weeks. And then I reach out, and I shouldn't have reached out in those 2 weeks. Oh, no, no, no. Actually, no, no, bye. Get out. Like, I don't even want to deal with those people. Like, hey, you come to me. I'm not going to you. So a lot of the times when you guys are dealing through me, I'm letting it develop so that you guys can come back to me. I'm giving you guys everything. A lot of the times, this does not need to be a phone call. If you're old school and you're like, well, I need a phone call, that's how we would do it back in the day with our financial tech company. Well, do they have the systems built the way they need to be built in today's time, especially in our digital age? No. Do they have 100 plus people answering phone calls whenever they can? Possibly. But I'm a one-man show. If you want the best thing given to you, if you actually want the best results, whether you qualify for a loan right now or not, you better be opening up those emails, one, and then two, going through those links, whether it's a video, a blog post, maybe it isn't a link and I just sent you an email, or it's in the exclusive Facebook group that I'll leave information for you guys down below. Actually, I can do it right now. If you guys are not in this Facebook group, you guys are missing out big time of all the updates that I'm coming out with. And 1 second. And at any moment, you guys can leave me a question. Don't feel frightened or this guy's just, his tonality has gone up. Well, this is the only way for you to hear me out. And I'm not this character, by the way. I'm not like this. But I'm a leader. So leaders got to lead and inspire by example. And that's what you have to ask yourself too. Are you a leader? Do you inspire? Some people always have that mismatch. And I had that for a long amount of time. There it is in the comment section, everyone. And again, for those of you tuning in, we will get into the tab here in a moment on how you can get up to 2 million incredibly fast funding. And like I'm saying, and one thing I'll elaborate on, and I'm going to update you guys towards the end of this month, but do not wait towards the end of the month to put in an application. Why? It's not me pushing you or saying, hey, this is what do you call it? It's one of the, I had it on my mind just now. Fear of missing out, one, but then two, time expiring, and there are other words for it. The reason being is because we have to look and assess your file. And if your file takes, we can say within a day to two of approval, funds deposited within a day to two, sometimes even same day funding, depends on that service. If you're looking at SBAs, 1 to 3 plus months, usually pushed out 3 plus months. And again, if you have not seen all the EIDL reconsideration updates and all that, look down below for those increases. But again, make sure you're reaching out, not only to me, but firstly, go to your loan officer, go through your K-Web portal, wherever that is, get those emails, get those updates, and understand what you need to do. Okay, so why shouldn't you wait till the end of the month? And I have people who do it on crunch time. Like I have people who just barely got an offer and they said, I will accept. And I've had to tell people, not because I want to pressure you to get this offer, but if you wait for the next month, then we got to take a transaction report into account. We have to look at the latest month. We have to update your latest bank statements, etc. And so that just draws out the process. And do you really want to go through all that energy and time where you would have had it in a day? Instead, you got to wait 4 to 5 days now, maybe even next week or two? No, unless you're like, I don't want funding now. I'll wait for a time later. A lot of people do this. They'll go and apply and see what they can get as an offer, but they don't accept it because they don't need it right this second. And I can understand that. But at the same time, you shouldn't be doing that. And leaving, even worse is for a concern, is leaving the offer on the table, not even going in and disapproving it. Who are you to not disapprove it? Because if you don't disapprove an offer, lenders see this in their system, not the one that you were provided with, if them, and more. And if you go somewhere else to apply, and I've seen this so many times, and I see this on the lender's back end, and they show me all this stuff. They go, Sally or Jimmy here has 10 freaking offers, and they want me to, maybe possibly buy them out. They have multiple positions, or, they don't have any positions. This is the first time they're doing this, but they haven't even responded to any of these. How do I know when they accept this one here? What are they going to go do elsewhere? How can I even establish a relationship with them? So one thing I do want to make clear too that just came to my mind, I have a few people who haven't responded back to. I won't say your name. I know you've emailed me back. If you're watching this, I will get back to you shortly. Again, I am my time, like I have people who, from last week, from a broker's point of view, because I also educate and as a leader, I do that for my team, that I haven't gone back to, because the truth of the matter is that I'm here. I have this to do. I have that to do. And on my downtime, I cannot reach you guys every second. On that downtime, I'm using it to get my mind out of there. I'm using it to recover. And then something else I have to go and do. And I'm not going to walk and just text at the same time when I have to do this. You guys have to understand that just because somebody doesn't give you the access you want at the time you want, doesn't mean they are ignoring you. It means that they're doing this. They're moving. And if you're not moving with them, you're getting left behind. So you have to do what you can in the meantime. Now, without talking anymore, let me get into this share screen. And you guys have probably never have dealt with somebody like myself. Maybe you have in your company. But if you have, you know the type of character who wants to be punctual, who cares about their energy and their time. Don't waste it. Don't bring all this burden onto me that just doesn't make sense, or I've already answered that in your email. You just want some clarity? Okay, I'll answer this. And I'll say sometimes, like, as I stated earlier in this email, this is what you can get approved for, or this is what the expectations are. Or I'll even ask you, what are your expectations? But when so much gets lost in translation and conversation, I can only devote so much of those people who are serious, and those who are like, I cannot. It's just the truth. It's not me saying I have preferences in people. No, that's not the thing. I have to do what is best for the business, and I have to do what's best in developing the right connections with the right people for those of you who are serious. And two, if you're not giving me feedback to go off of as your business loan broker / agent that's taking care of you, then it shows a lack of punctuality and mistrust and no like or trust factors there. So now let me get into this here. All right. Here is the best part, what you guys were looking forward to. How you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast funding within a day to two of approval, funds deposited within a day to two, as much as a week. It depends on your file. Here you can get up to $2 million with David Allen Capital Inc. With as little as a 500 plus FICO. No collateral is required for the most part. These are usually unsecured, not secured type of asset lending. If you are looking for an asset lending solution, then I will try to leave more of that information down below. But if you have not filled out that questionnaire, please make sure to do so. I will pair you up with the best funding option and options. But again, don't be the hand waving guy at the car dealership. You know those little toy things that are floating. Like, I don't know what to do. Don't be that person. Please be resourceful and think about things before you see an email come through of mine. Think about it. Take a second before you click that link. Click the link and go watch the video. Take some time to watch it. Like today, I just released a video on how to purchase an existing business. If you're still asking me questions about that after today, maybe you haven't seen it, and I get that. It's fine. But if you've seen that video, what is there? Like 100 extra questions that have already been answered? You just didn't watch the full extent of that video or that blog post that I sent you? Maybe there's something I need to clarify or something that I just didn't put in there. Maybe it's a certain situation you have in that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That is energy and time efficiency. Like right now, once I get off of this, I have to go text all the people that I sent that response from that questionnaire form last night that I spent 2 hours worth at the end of my night because I care about you guys. And then I will go back in here, do a few things with LinkedIn. I have to make some connections with a few people who are serious. And then I have to do maybe a post on link. Maybe I'll do a quick TikTok video after this. I'll take a break. And then I have some more applications who've gone funded from people who I will go and congratulate, people who've gone declined, who I still need to reach out to. I still have more on top of that I need to email. I'll put this together so it's finalized. I know you guys are thinking, well, why don't you outsource this? I have other businesses that I can outsource as well, but I like doing it like this, the way I have it set up, at least for now. This may be something that I bring my family in later on. My mom's been asking about this. And so if you guys are ever curious about getting help with this too, let me know so I can plug you guys in the best way possible. Now, in the share screen, we can get you up to $2 million incredibly fast funding and even up to $25,000 same day instant approval through the Bank Breezy program. Now, this is where you can get instant approval with same day funding. How? Immediate approvals with as little as a $5,000 plus per month in bank revenue within each of the last 3 months. A business checking account, not a personal checking account used for business. And I can go into specific about each and every single one of these qualifications and requirements, but I will not do that in this video. Please fill out that questionnaire that I'm leaving for you down below if you have not. And actually, let me paste it right now. As the time of watching this, a lot of people have been submitting those forms. Good job, guys. Appreciate you. And I will do my best. Let me just bring up the form on my screen. And you may have gotten an email. If you haven't, if you have not, I'll try to broadcast one. Again, guys, time and energy is what I value the most. Money and all that, it comes and it goes. I could care less. What I care more about is making sure you guys are taken care of in the best way possible, whether you're looking through private lenders, online banking solutions, non-private lenders, what is the traditional sense, and so forth. You guys are going to be well taken care of with myself. Be careful of who you guys get information from and who you guys learn from, because a lot of them, whether they're in this, let me move this, whether, not in like a bad way, whether they know it or not, whether they've been doing this or not, they don't have the full details. So if you've gone to a broker in the past and they've let you down because they haven't fully explained it to you, I will. So much so that I give you guys examples, some numbers. I just gave a person numbers earlier. They wanted to know because they were getting a traditional merchant cash advance to purchase an existing business, and that's the best way possible, unless they can go through a personal loan. Excuse me. There's also the SBA 7A and possibly a few other options, but those are primarily the ones we want to look at. And so I was giving them the full breakdown. They said, what would be my monthly payment? I just want to have an evaluation and an estimate. Sure. But we can't say with a fact, 100% certainty that this is what you will get. You have to still put in an application with a soft pull, but I will give you some numbers, put you in the ballpark. Sure. So that's what I do for a lot of people. I say, hey, this is the ballpark. And a lot of the times I get it right on. And so I say, hey, this is what your monthly payment will be. If you have a fixed rate, this is a variable rate. If it's a traditional merchant cash advance, what is the amount being deducted? What is the percentage? A percentage is a little bit more difficult to figure out. Figuring out what you're doing in monthly credit and even debit card receivables is a whole different story. But these are people who are like this. This certain individual I spoke to some time ago. Sometimes I don't ask, and I should do a little bit more of this. Do you need the funds now or you need it in the future? I might even put that in the questionnaire. Sometimes I'll ask it, sometimes I won't. But people come back to me all the time. I give them an evaluation. They don't need it now. Hey, a month goes by. Oh, hi, Jimmy. Hi, Sally. And we get on with things. I ask you, how are you doing? How are things going in your life? I'm happy to hear from you. But if you're not taking the time to even, I don't want to get into that, but it's all about proficiency. So 6 months in business, a 450 plus FICO credit score, all industries are included. Get more when you need it. Payment history will earn you more. Receive funds time and time again. Add-on funds are available. A personalized account manager can be there to hold you by the hand, so you don't have to feel like a lone wolf going at it alone. We also have a line of credit program between $5,000 to $100,000 is what you can get up to at the moment. We can push that out. We're hopefully can move forward with that and even more than 100K, but that's what it is at the moment. Simple and fast. Fueling your business's growth. You get a better fee structure than anywhere else, even through traditional banking solutions. So keep that on the back of your mind. And if you've submitted a questionnaire, you will know what those entail. And I will not cover that in this video because there will be content to that down below in the description that you guys can look at. And how does it look? You get an automatic weekly repayment, so you can take the funds out and use them whenever you would like to. So it's not like a lump sum. If you were working off of that, how to get a business loan for up to $2 million, how to get a cash advance. In other words, it depends on the state what you can call it. Not always technically a business loan, but if you were not getting a lump sum and you were getting a line of credit, then you can take the funds out and use them whenever you would like. Now, how do you get an up to $2 million business loan outside of a cash advance? Good question. And that's probably what's been on your mind since the beginning of this video, right? So how to get a business loan up to $2 million? Sure, you have the SBAs, which we're all commonly known. We're like, yeah, that's what I want to know about. How can I get an SBA loan that can get me up to $2 million? Perhaps you're looking up to $5 million through an SBA 7A loan, which can be the maximum. An SBA 504/CDC, which can be up to $10 million, depending on those programs. There are different SBA 7A loans, working capital loans. I can go into it so in depth, but there's a small business loan for the SBA, a medium, a longer term, express SBA loans. I know all of these not only because I know them, because I've helped out people get funding and get those actual details. But if you're getting a business loan through the SBA 7A up to $2 million, term lengths, you can expect very quickly here. I'm going to run through these. 5 to 25 years, have a FICO credit score of 680, show at least you're doing $500,000 in annual revenue. In a lot of cases, you need 10% in profit at that minimum. Have 2 years in business. Yes, 2 years. Reason being, and let me move this out of the way. Why is 2 years? Actually, I think I had it like that already. But why is 2 years important? People ask me that, and that's a differentiating factor. Well, time in business is everything. Time in business accounts for the stability of your business, the amount of profits. Are you on an increase? Are you on a decline? There's so much we can tell from that. The profits, looking into the tax returns, 2 years of tax returns at the most, looking at 2 years of personal taxes. If you don't even have that information, you do not even qualify. Sure, 5 million is available, but if you don't meet the revenue, you don't meet the credit score, you don't meet the time in business, you cannot supply the documents. And that's actually where, from what I got from, this is stuff that you guys don't get on the back end. For like over 70% of that is the reason why people don't qualify. You might have the time in business, you have the credit score, you have the revenue, but you can't supply the necessary documentation. And in that process, I have people to this day still, even with a personal loan that maybe is not up to 2 million, who are still waiting to get it, who I still have to contact, and it's been months after months. They're still in the process. Why? Because they don't have the supplemental documentation that's required. So instead of being 1 to 3 months, it's now become 4, 5, 6 months. And again, I'm not here to rant. Now let me get back into the share screen, but all of this I'll leave for you guys in time down below in the description. Those videos will cover it more in depth on how to get these business loans / cash advances, unsecured business term loans if you want up to $250,000 or so. You're looking for a revenue-based loan to apply for, like purchasing an existing business where you can get up to $5 million, maybe a secured type of asset. Maybe it is equipment financing you're looking for, but it just depends on the service you are looking at. Now I'm going to look at something on my screen over here and I'll get back to you in a second. But if you guys have any questions, please leave them for me down below in the comments. So I'm going to switch screens here so you can see what I'm looking at. And if you guys are questioning, does it ever get tiring to me? It doesn't get tiring to me. Like, with people who don't understand, I love helping. The thing is, if you're not resourceful, if you're not doing your own due diligence, it is very difficult at that point, because then it's like, I have to take care of this person here, but you're requesting to get, I have to give you an hour's worth of that time or 30 minutes, just even 5 minutes. You're like, just answer this. It's only a minute. It's a minute that I could have been devoting to this other person who actually understood, that they even watched the video, that they went through that content, that there were no questions asked after they watched that. So it's not about preference, it's about you. This all I do my part. It's about you. So don't blame me if I don't get back to you. There's times where a questionnaire form comes in and I don't answer it because not because I'm choosing not to, it's because I have some things to do and I just possibly missed it, but I'll get back to it when I check through my emails. But I'm doing my part. Are you doing yours? Are you fulfilling on your part of this? I know you're getting tired of me hearing this, but if you guys don't hear it enough, I get it every day. And it's just almost tiring at some points because there are people on one scale who are like ignorant, people who just don't get it, people in the middle who are there just maybe need a little bit more information, a little bit of clarity, as I said earlier. And then there's people here who are like, let's go. In and out. I don't need a phone call with you. You told me this is what it is. It's up to date. Boom. In at the application. Put my details in, and I'm going to show you some of the process here for the up to 2 million. And there will be another video that I'll link to where it goes into it more in depth. So if you're currently in the David Allen Capital system, but you have not progressed, how do I know why? I can only assume, and I can cover those reasons, possible objections. But if I respond to you and you're opening emails because I can see it. Clearly you're getting emails, but I'm not even sure why you're not going through. I give you a second chance to click a link to go send me a quick message on Facebook if you want to do that. Here's my phone number. Send me a quick text message. Hey, Michael, I just started the application, but it looks like I'll come back to you in about a month. Cool. And what I'm doing here, name, 1 month in my sheets. Okay. Come back in a month. Cool. How hard is that? See what I just did there? Easy. What you did is you fulfilled. You just said, hey, Michael, I didn't want to start this. And then I've had people like this week who've been amazing. Amazing. And if you're watching this and this is one of you, I won't say your name, but I will point out the behavior. And if this is you, I appreciate you so much for doing this. People submitted an application through David Allen Capital. They were looking to purchase an existing business, and there have been multiple ones. Our underwriters, our senior officers, etc., have been reaching out. Hey, we can't help you purchase an existing business through here. And I get that information and I get that feedback. And then I go speak to that individual. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't know if you were still looking forward to purchasing that existing business. I thought you were doing this for another business, the current business you have now. So that's why it worked out that way. But now that I know this, guess what? I can do my part. But without knowing, that simple email just changed your life. That simple text message, in a lot of cases, not even a phone call. Those people who are phone calling you maybe are a lot more old school. I am a millennial, and I do get on phone calls still. Believe me, I do. But when it makes sense. I'm not wasting time on a phone call just to speak about the emotional. I feel this is where I want to be in 5 years. Really feel like, and I love that. I love hearing it. Awesome. But if it's just a phone call based off of that, and there is no hard logistical logic in the numbers, for one, you're giving me outrageous numbers because maybe you don't get it. But then two, it's like, you're in no position right now. Let's actually fill out a questionnaire form so I can get those details. Even if you don't have any revenue, at least I know what I'm dealing with before I even get on a call with somebody, because that's energy and time taken away from me, my family, time taken away from my own businesses, time taken away from my cerebral activities that I need to ingest time into. So now let me get here and let me show you guys what I'm looking at. And I'm not being bashful. Those of you who have just gotten to know me are probably like, this guy, or those of you who have been watching me for some time are like, man, he just raised up the levels. I've had people today who I did take a call with, whether it was phone call, but it was also on the Zoom, Team apps. Very straightforward. Sometimes I don't appear on screen with my face, not because I'm shy about it. It's because this is what I would prefer, especially in the first contact. And it doesn't always make sense. I mean, I want to make sure I get to know the person too. But sometimes as simple as a quick phone call, you're seeing me here as it is. What you're seeing is what you are getting. I'm not no guru. So what you guys need to understand is this. Let me get into the share screen, and we're going to try to close up here. We're getting close to an hour, but it is a Thursday. Usually they go the longest on that. So what is the funding process for you to get up to 2 million incredibly fast with David Allen Capital Link? And if you're watching this and you're currently somebody who's in the process, or maybe just started an application, didn't save it so that you can continue it when you get that email, what you're expecting on the other side, you just got distracted and all this, this is going to help clarify that. And I'm going to run through it very quickly, but I have a video that I did this for specifically. You've probably already seen it. You're like, great, it's reminding me of this. Well, you don't give me feedback. Rightfully so, you are getting reminded. So DAs, and don't act the fool, don't act innocent. Well, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Well, did you even watch those other videos in that email that I sent you? Or have you been even following me for the last 6 months that you've been on my email list or that you've been a subscriber? No. So then stop complaining. Stop saying that you just didn't know because you did not look at the information. You did not did you go and do a quick video search on my channel, trucking company, trucking business? Not exact word for word, but you did that and you went to go watch the video. No? Okay, what should we do? Yes, you did. How do we proceed? This is what's best to do. You guys are business owners. You guys know this. You guys shouldn't be dealing or putting up with BS. You guys should be uncomfortable on what you do every day. Like, you have to push yourself. But if you are just like, Michael can do it for me, that was answered actually in that email. I'm just going to restate it again. Hey, I said this in the email earlier, but just in case you didn't see it or you just needed some more clarity on it, to prove a point, not in a bad way, but just in a nice way to be like, hey, it's in the email. It's the way it's set up because it's the most up to date. So now let me get back into this share screen. So DAC up to 2 million funding process, and I'm going to leave videos to David Allen Capital down below. And what I said in a more previous video is even if you can't get qualified for 2 million, here we go. I know I got to flip back here. Very important. If you don't qualify for 2 million, take what you can get. I have people now who don't even respond back because they're like, you're telling me I can't get 2 million if I'm doing this in revenue or I'm doing this. The revenue should be sufficient enough. Possibly. You're not getting 2 million though. So why go waste getting 100,000 in a spot where you could have got that somewhere else? The exact use of your funds doesn't determine that. You go into extensive paperwork only to get declined or get approved in 3 months. Most of the time you just don't get approved. Old Young just got approved with Cabbage. Awesome. Happy for you. Congratulations. And does that mean you took the offer? Looking for more lines of credit. That's more lines of credit, right? That don't report to personal credit. That's difficult. That's a tough ask, to be honest with you. Everything nowadays reports to having a personal guarantee, personal credit scores. Awesome. Congratulations. It is a very difficult ask. So let me ask you, Old Young, why do you want to look for a line of credit that does not report to personal credit? And yeah, I get you don't have to answer that because it is stuff you don't want to reveal. It can be more private. You could ask me that in an email. But I invite you to answer me that question either here or there. Why do I ask that question? Why does it matter? It tells me a lot. Oh, you don't want this being reported because of this? That doesn't make, like, I have to give you a proper response back to that and say, well, this is just a marginal answer to a bigger problem. Oh, it's that reason. Well, we can try, but it's a very slim chance. If you don't mind me asking, what is your credit range? I know you don't have to give me the exact. Have you submitted a questionnaire, by the way? Credit, yes. When you're looking for lines of credit, if you're looking at it from a traditional banking point of view, it is more difficult. You better be like building business credit. Okay, so 780 to 800, it's great to excellent. Like, there has to be more to this. So most of my business credit cards don't report to my personal credits, right? Which is standard. You wouldn't expect that to do for the most part. Just about all of them, that's the case. That's what happens. So even with that said, as I just said earlier, and I'm running through some programs of some lenders out there that I've worked with in the past, it just really doesn't happen, to be honest with you. Building business credit probably be the best route you take. So you don't have any kind of like personal guarantees, no personal credit reports to a certain degree, again. But for the most part, that's what you're looking for. So personal credit, right, which is what you should do. And it opens up a lot of doors and opportunities when you do that. And they're usually reported differently on a different scale, payday scale, and you're looking at what you're building in terms of trade lines. But for the most part, that's what you're looking for. And it can be very difficult. I know Fundbox is another opportunity. You might want to look at them. I know they don't require personal guarantees. A lot of the times for an initial draw or an initial amount you got offered and took, second time, if you ask for an increase, that could be added on top of that. Could have changed a little bit where they may have taken that off. But Fundbox may be another one to go look at. Another one that I have in mind, excuse me, but that does report to all this is David Allen Capital with those lines of credit programs. And then the fee structure, very minimal as opposed to where you would go elsewhere. And I don't want to get into that 100%. There's a lot of numbers to throw in there. So I will leave that content for you down below. But just keep that in the back of your mind with the 700 and an 800 that is up there. Qualifies you for most, but you like to keep personal and business separate. But it's not always about what we want. It's about, yeah, what we need. But we have to take the most presentable option to us as well. And so that may mean what you're alluding to here. You don't want something reporting. You don't always get that option. Even at a higher tier, people don't get that option. So let me come back into the screen here. Now, over here, step one, you enter some simple business information. I'm not going to go through all these steps, what they entail. There's a different video for that down below. Step two, pre-qualification funding offer. It can present you what you may get in a rough draft. Step three, just enter some business information. And I'm not going through what each and every bit of this is. Look for that video down below. Step four, I'm going more through the steps here. Step four, you upload your documents. And this is where a lot of people come to, and they do not continue their process. Why? Because they maybe don't have it on hand. You don't have it ready. All that's being asked for is here, upload your last month's bank statement, upload 2 months ago of your bank statement, upload 3 months ago of your bank statements, and then upload your driver's license, upload a voided check. If you cannot continue, there will be a button there for you that you can press, and you can click and save and complete later. How hard is it to do that? Not very. Okay. Step five, personal information. Step six, your date of birth and ownership information. There are more specifics. Again, like I said, I won't cover everything here in this video. Step seven, final review before submitting. This is what some of the messages will look like. Save and resume later. Email you will see is this when it's sent to your email if you've saved it later. Very straightforward. And again, I didn't cover everything in that. Let me move this over. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes. If anybody has any questions, now would be the time to do that. So with that David Allen Capital application, it's more common to see that in all other applications, more or less. There's a different structure to every single one of them. But like I said, time and time again, it's about the ball being in your court. If you're serious about this, no hard pull, old young. So whether you are serious about this or not, you have to look here. What you're looking at externally is different than what you have going on in here. Your own self-belief that you will get the offer you will get, the one that you will want, you have to take a chance. You have to take a risk. You have to understand that you may not get the offer you wanted. And when I mean offer, I don't just mean like the amount. You don't also get the right terms. You don't get the right terms and the right rates. But what can you do? This is stuff that I tell you in the email. Here's some pro tips and what I've done in my past. I told a lady the other day, and this is someone, if you're watching, I won't say your name, I promise, but you've put in an application, and that's all I got was you just started an application. I've tried following up with you. I sent you a text. Perhaps it's just your business number. That's why it hasn't gone through. Perhaps you've been opening up my emails. And if you're this person as well, you know the situation you're in. But if I don't have any feedback, like if days go by, I'm not doing my part. If I'm not following up with you in a very nice, formal way, I'm not pressuring you. But if I don't have feedback, what am I supposed to do? Like wait for you? Like I'm not going to be here picking my nose, waiting for this person. Oh, when they're going to send me a message? When am I going to get an email from them? I'm moving on to the next one. Like today, I've helped out people, and I wanted to mention not the person's name, but the behavior. And I wish more people were like that. And this one was on the real estate investor side of the equation, and they just know it. It's not only on that side that it happens, by the way. If you know who you are, you know who you are. But they even said, hey, they appreciate what I'm doing. The first things that came out of my mouth, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for acknowledging me, and what I try to do isn't easy, but I want to provide you guys the most amount of value, and that you cannot find anywhere else. And then we moved on to the next part. Intro, next part. Intro, next part. It's not this and this and that and this and that and flipping and flipping and flapping and flipping. I'm like, by the time I'm done, I can't even go get done with something else I needed to do because I spent so much of that energy, and there's times for it. Believe me, there are times for it. Is this program good for real estate or trucking? Old Young is asking. And yes. Oh, for real estate, let me talk about to an extent. For trucking, absolutely. Before, I'm going to get into that in a moment here very thoroughly. So stick with me. You're going to love this one. So real estate, I've had people recently who I didn't get to speak to and get to ask them what their use of funds were. They may give me something like expansion, but I don't know if they're using it to flip a home. Like if you're using it to flip a home, not only with David Allen Capital, but most merchant cash advance or revenue-based loan companies, if they're not traditionally real estate investors, private investors, they will decline you for that. So if it's for flipping a home, no. If you're trying to flip a home, bridge loans, you're doing hard money loans, you're doing other types, fix and flips, commercial, rental properties, then there's a place for that. And you can submit a questionnaire that I'm going to leave to down below. If you're looking for non-flipping home funding, non-flipping a home, David Allen Capital to a great extent can help you. But again, if it is primarily, it might not be the only use of funds, but if we ask you, oh, I'm going to need it for this marketing and I'm going to need it for flipping a home, you should just probably put you need it for marketing and advertising or a specific payroll thing or whatever that may be. Then we can assess and see what we can get you. And I'll be there every step of the way because I know what's going on in each step. I'm seeing this stuff with my underwriters and my lenders. So trucking, absolutely. Recently, like trucking, I'm not saying, look, when I look at every industry that I've helped, and I've just been around everywhere, I've literally niched and narrowed down from certain ones, and I've gone very broad. And so I know every niche out there. Honestly, I do. I got accountants, I got consultants that I have to still respond to via email. So if you're watching this and you're one of them, I'll get back to you. Medical, cannabis, home improvement, construction, contractors of all types, restaurants, retail, gas stations, hair salons, real estate investors. The list just, oh, you, I'm not even kidding you. I've seen it all, just about all. There might be some things in there that I haven't. But in the trucking industry, it is very high risk. It is very difficult for you to always get what you want because it's very seasonal. A truck blows out, you're done. You have four of them, well, you just lost one, boom, dip in your revenue. Oh, engine blew out, boop, dip in your revenue. Oh, something else happened over here. Sally left the company. She's not a driver anymore for you. Boop, drop in revenue. Boop, can't be out on the road when it's raining. Drop in revenue. Oh, I have trucks, but they're not off the ground yet. Nope, sorry. Business credit building, your best route. So, yes, you can get help here for sure. I've had people recently who said they got declined because they had a low FICO credit score. They probably didn't even have the best revenue either. Well, you got declined. You met the minimum, but a lot of lenders, they pull away. They pulled away from like those lower credit scores. They can evaluate it, and it's also specific to industries. And if you have higher revenue, we can also assess that and say, yeah, you have a lower credit score, 500 plus, less than 600 or so, but your revenue is here. This is what we're projecting. This is why you want these funds, and it makes sense. Yeah, okay. But some people go in and they're like, well, you told me it was a minimum of 500. Yeah, maybe I should have elaborated a little bit more and say, well, a lot of lenders, they pull away. And I'll try to do that a lot more now, but if I haven't already, because of that. They don't want to get complaints from you. They don't want to, because it happens a lot. People take the income, the money that they need. They keep calling back, complaining. They'll even call me. I'm like, I don't deal with that. Please don't call me for that. You can deal with them here, but I'm sure they won't want to hear about it. So they might not even answer. And so there's a lot of people who do this. A lot of people who are like, well, I'm getting into I need a, there's people who are like, if you develop a strong enough relationship with the lender, myself, with the underwriters, then we could probably like defer a payment, not in all cases, but I've had people do that. But a lot of people come back and say, well, no, I can't make the payment. Well, can you help me defer this? Or no. And it's always something else. And I'm not saying that the trucking industry can be quote unquote nasty, but I do want to say this. Out of all the industries that I've helped, that one can be very like up and down because not only because of the business, one, but then two, of the people. Sometimes, I'm not saying you are, but sometimes people don't, I'm not saying they don't think things through, but it isn't as calibrated. Like, I want money, I want it now. They don't get what they want, they complain, they put a review up. That does make no sense. They had no point in that review. That made no sense. They did not win anything in that. Nothing came out of that. And I get maybe you're having a bad day, but don't put this on anybody else. We don't need your negativity. And this goes for any industry. But I hear it and I see it all, and it can become a very nasty industry. And not everybody, I'm saying not every business, not every person. It can come with the good, it can come with the bad. I love you guys and I deal with you guys. And I don't put up with you guys. I'm not saying I have to put up with you guys. I'm saying I love dealing with you guys. I'm trying to help you guys the best way possible, but you just have to put yourself in my shoes too and just stop complaining about things if that's the position you're in. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit more, see if anybody has any questions. And again, everyone, do not wait until the end of the month. I can work it through, but just don't be that person. Gotcha, yeah. You need contracts for trucking, yeah. Right on. Gotcha. I'm happy you're focused on real estate. How has that been going for you this year? And I do appreciate you guys for watching. Like the thing is, I said this in the beginning, it's one thing to sign up to something. It's a whole other thing to show up. If you're not even getting into these videos, you're not even taking the time to watch them, you might even have to go back through some videos and continue to do this moving forward. There's a reason why, and there's a reason why you're not. because it's hard to. I get it. It's hard to trust somebody in this industry because some people tell you one thing and then you do another thing or you get another thing. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can with you guys. Yeah, see, I have a goal that I set, so I have to get on LinkedIn later and I have to set up about 20 more messages that I wasn't able to do because I'm here spending it with devoting it to you guys. And then I haven't posted anything on TikTok, so I'll try to spend some time on there. If you guys are watching here, you guys are following me there, make sure to go look over there. Got you. Is it primarily a line of credit or do you have a property lined up? What type of property is this? So I haven't posted a TikTok. I said I was going to be better about it. I haven't posted really on there. Like I said, I have a lot. So if I stop posting on TikTok, it's not because I don't want to be there. I have things to do. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't even send you the questionnaire form. I'm not sure if you filled that out yet, but that would then tell me like all the details I need to know so that I can go review for some terms and rates. But when you do have that information, if you do have a property you have in mind, whatever you're looking to do, refinance, purchase property, anything like that I can do. I've been dealing with real estate investors today, a little bit more frequently actually today than more than the other side. But I do just as both equally. One can be a lot more one day, another one can be a little bit less. Let's see. And I do appreciate you for participating. It does show that you care. It does show that you are getting plugged in. This isn't to me, like, I don't even know what I've done this month. Honestly, I don't know what I've done. I'm not a sales guy, to be honest with you. I hate the word sales. When people say, what have you done in sales this month? I cringe. I'm like, I don't want to hear that word. Just tell me what have you done this month without the word sales in there. And I'm not a salesperson at all. Probably consider myself more as a marketer because I've built those skills. But people are like, what you do in sales this month? I'm like, oh. Or would they tell me what have you brought in revenue for yourself this month from doing this? I don't even know. I'm not saying it isn't anything. What I'm saying is I'm moving. Like right now, I don't even know. Okay, it is the 17th. All right. Just had to check to see what the date was. I don't even know what today's Thursday. Like I'm working, guys. I'm working. So don't think because I'm not messaging you, it's like I'm ignoring you. So I'm gonna give this a little bit more time, and then I'll transition to TikTok. You guys can watch me there for a moment. I know I can stream to all apps, but I don't want to do that. So just keep it right here. Thursdays are my heaviest days, everyone. You can probably see it now. It's like my whole mind is in a different spot on a Thursday after I'm done with these videos. Like I'm not the same person. I almost feel like a zombie. Where is my couch? Where are my wheat thins so I can sit down for a good minute and catch up with my brain? As I look out into the window where I can see partially light beaming through. It's cold out. I can see the wind brushing through the trees. I can see the two cars next to the garage just sitting there, staring back at me if I'm going to drive them or not, just to take out, just to go and recover, go on a quick drive. So I believe that is everything from me. I've spent enough time on here. Thank you all for tuning in and get after it. Everything you guys need to know about will be down below in the description to get started. And that is all.